Did I say your name right?
Yes, you did.
Okay. Yesy. Hey, how's it going?
Hey, good, good. Just picking up my
All right.
daughter from the after school program because she stays for tutoring after school. So just picking her up.
Okay. Is it okay to talk?
Right,
Yeah,
is this a good
yeah, it's
time?
fine. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay.
She's not in the car, is she?
Yeah, she's in the car, but she knows the whole situation that's been going on. She knows everything because she was in the home where my other children are currently at. So she knows. I took her from the home because she's the only one that they didn't have the court papers for. So she's been with me since September. What is it, September 16th of last year?
How old is she?
She's 11.
Yeah, so the thing is, even if she is aware of the situation, like we can't really interview you in front of her. This is an adult type of live, it gets a little raunchy sometimes.
Yeah.
So we prefer her not to be a part of this. She's a minor.
Let me give her some headphones so she could be on her laptop or something. Hold on.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh wait, I think I have headphones in
Meanwhile, in between time, where you from?
Madera, California.
Okay.
Yes.
Uh,
And you
Born
have how many? How
born.
many?
What was that?
and how many kids do you have?
5.
You have 5 kids?
How
Yes,
many
5.
different men?
3.
Okay.
So how many out of the five are being alienated?
Um, well, my sister is the one that's keeping my kids from me. That's alienating the kids and doing the whole thing with like not letting me talk to them or speak on the phone with them.
So is
Um,
it all of them?
they were all. It was all of them at one point, but now there's only 3 girls left in the home, and my son left with his biological dad, which he's my oldest one. He's 15, and then I have the 11-year-old. So there's just the 3 girls: my 13, 15, and 8-year old.
Okay, so how long ago did this start? When was this?
This has been ongoing since 2008, 19.
Okay, 2019.
Hmm.
That's a bit of
Yeah.
extent.
Yeah.
So I mean, I guess this isn't like a typical interview because you're not being alienated by the other parents. This is a family member who has guardianship, correct?
Yes.
And
Yes.
so they're abusing the guardianship to you. So when we
Yes.
ask who's the deadbeat in this situation?
Nobody, basically. No, well, nobody. Well, you can maybe say me because I'm the one who messed up and left the kids with in care of my sister. So at one point I was like I did what I did, and I had to basically remove, like, give my sister guardianship over the children, so that way I could take care of all, because I had all these legal issues that I had going on, because I had cases in court, because I don't have I had a rough past, and I
Okay.
had choices that.
So to piggyback off of that, because of course the viewers are going to want to know. Of course, we don't want you to share anything that you're uncomfortable with sharing, but just to get like they need to get a basis of what type of lifestyle did you live where you had to hand your kids over.
I had cases because before all of this, I was running around with the wrong crowd, doing things to like get by, because of course drugs were involved. And well, it was because I had a really like messed up relationship with my first baby dad. He was dealing drugs. He was doing all of that stuff. So that's what got me involved in that. And then it was just messy. It was messy. My life was messy at that time, but so was in jail, and that's when I made the decision to let my sister take guardianship of my kids. And it was a mutual, it was like an agreement. I agreed. I was like, you know what?
Okay, so start us from the top.
Mhm.
Okay, you have your first kid, and
Mhm.
then what happened with that situation?
Oh, I was fine. Everything was fine. I was perfect. Everything was good. I had my son.
How old were you?
I was going to. I turned 21 when I had him, so I was 20.
Okay, with your first child, and you and
Mhm.
that dad worked together.
We were off. It was rough from the beginning. It was rough from the beginning. Like, it was off and on. We were good for a long stretch of time, and then he put his hands on me again, and he be okay. And I don't know. Now that I think about it, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like, I put my kids through a lot because my son remembers things that have happened when he was young, and
So,
he's like, Mom.
so
So it
you
was
only had one. You only had one kid with him.
no, there's three.
Three with the first kid's
Hmm.
father.
Yeah,
Okay. So you guys were together for a number of years.
yeah, for quite a while.
But you said it was toxic and just a lot of
It was a lot
bad
of,
things happening.
yeah, a lot of domestic, a lot of
The,
abuse,
okay.
physical, mentally.
So with all that being said, why would you have more kids with him?
I don't know. You know what? Dumb thinking that it's gonna fix the relationship, or it's gonna be better, or promising he's gonna be better, and me believing him. I mean, it was like my first serious relationship that I was ever in. Like,
Okay.
never in a really serious relationship. And I don't know, I was young, dumb, inexperienced.
Yeah, we all was young. We wouldn't be here if we all wasn't young and dumb. So I get it. So how old were you um after you had the last kid?
I was oh, this
Well,
was in
when you had the last kid.
I had my last baby. She was born
I'm
2000.
talking about with the first baby daddy.
Yeah, with my first baby daddy, I
Okay.
split up with him, and then I had my daughter, my 11-year-old, and then I went and got back with him again, and I got pregnant with with my baby, my youngest one. She's 8, but I don't know what happened like when I was pregnant with her, that I just completely didn't want nothing to do with him at that point anymore. Like, I didn't even care if he was in her life or nothing. Like, I just
So
completely.
let me get this right. You had two of him. You split up and had another baby, and then had another one with him after that.
No, I did. I split up with him. I had my two oldest,
Okay.
split up with him, and I was with somebody else, and I had my
Okay.
third one. Then I was in another relationship, and I had my fourth one, and then I went back to him again and ended up pregnant by him again.
So you had two kids with him, two kids
Mhm.
by two other people, and then a third kid with him.
Mhm. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So take us to baby daddy number two. You broke
Mm,
up with him and it was a relationship and you had a kid, right?
yeah. Yeah. I ended up pregnant. Just not
What
being smart, not taking birth control. That's one thing too. Like, I was just.
was it? Was he the same type of guy from
No,
the first?
he actually wanted to marry me, but I just didn't. I wasn't ready for that. I was feeling stuck on my first baby's dad. So
How old was you at that age?
I think I was about, let me see, 21, about 24, maybe
Well, at
25.
that time.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Now get us to the third one.
The third one, the third baby from him, from my first baby
Yeah.
dad.
No, yeah, for the third baby daddy.
Your third child.
Yeah, your third
I
child.
mean, not your
My third
third
child.
The
child.
Yeah, that's the
fourth
one I
child.
said that I was that's the one I said. The third one is the one that I wanted. He wanted to marry me, but I just wasn't ready for it. That was the third one. And then there was my fourth one. My fourth one, it wasn't nothing serious. It was just like we were just friends, and I ended up pregnant, and he I he just basically completely blocked himself out from her life
O-
and whatever. But
Okay, so my next question to you then. So, all right, before we get to that, can you just explain to us, all right, what happened and how did you get custody took? Because I'm confused. So why did
I
your
didn't.
sister even get him and why not the
Yeah,
fathers?
it's not even because the dad, once me and him split. Okay, the thing was with the dad, there was a restraining order on him for 7 years, I believe, or 6, something
Which
like that.
one?
The first one, because after I got together with him, he put his hands on me and all that. So there was a restraining order in court, and he was trying to get it removed, but the judge wasn't doing it. He was like, no, because there was just already too many times that he'd put his hands on me already.
But you were
So
still seeing him, right?
yeah, well, it all this took place when I got pregnant with the baby and all that. So I had the baby. We weren't together. I wasn't trying to be with him. I was living on my own, do my own thing. And I was fine. And then I don't know, things just took place. I think I just got maybe overwhelmed with everything of being. I was a single mom with 5 babies, and I just was overwhelmed. I had no help from nobody. Like, it was just me on my own, just pulling through life, working, making sure my kids get to school, getting them, because I remember my two girls were in cheer, my son was in soccer, and I feel like I just I let life get the best of me, and so that's when I fell apart, and everything started happening like it just like a domino effect, like it just started happening back to back to back, everything. And so then I went to jail, and then that's when I decided, you know what, I don't want my kids to get caught in the system. I don't want my kids to be in a foster home with people that they don't know, with strangers. And I'm just gonna let my family take my kids. And
So why the fathers wasn't a option? Of
because
course,
there
I'm
was
not the first one because you had a restraining order on him. But what
yeah,
about the other two?
the other one didn't even care. Like, he was in prison or something, I think. I don't know, honestly. Like, he was in prison, and I didn't have a communication with them like that. And the fourth one, it,
So is it
there's
safe
no
to say that if it's
communication.
safe to say the other two was deadbeats?
Basically, yeah. The fourth one, definitely a deadbeat.
Okay.
Like, he's really never cared to have a relationship, to know her, to any none of that.
Do,
There
do
was
you
a
have
family.
a light? Did you have a light that you could cut on in the car? Because we can really see you. It's getting dark. Okay.
There was a He was like, how do you say, like, he just didn't want no part in to be in her life or whatever. So, but his family does see my daughter. They're involved in her life and stuff. So
So she doesn't know her dad at all.
she's seen pictures of him. That's as much as she knows.
How
He's
old is
like,
she?
she's 11.
Man, that's tough.
Yeah, it is. It
Okay.
is tough. It is tough, but
Okay.
she's basically, like, she really doesn't ask for him. But I know that as a child, I know that it probably does bother her. Like, hey, why isn't he around? Or
Are you
uh,
dating anybody?
I'm married. I'm married now.
And when did that happen? After you, like, how long after you lost custody?
After I lost custody, I was I got together with my husband maybe a year afterwards, maybe a year and some change after. And I've been with him ever since. I've been with him ever since then, and we've been together. We've been together for like 5 years and married for two. So
Okay,
no,
so
3 years, married for 3 years. Like,
and you got, I mean, would you say that you guys are pretty stable?
yes, yes, he has a good job. He's the sole provider right now at the moment.
How is he with the kids? I mean, I know
Great.
it's okay. So
He's great with the kids.
they are familiar with him.
Yes, very, very. My baby, she loves him. She adores him. She gets so happy when she sees him. She loves him. Like, she melts for him.
So even though you made bad choices, you ended up in prison. There was a history of abuse and
Hmm.
things like that. Why do you think your sister, after you gave her pretty much the power to
Hmm.
take over, why do you think that she wanted to just make it a permanent thing? Did she not trust you once you were
I don't
released,
know,
or what
because you know
happened?
what? At one point we were good. Like, I was going to her house every day, watching
Is
the baby.
this post, like, after you are released, or like, take us
Yeah.
through?
Okay,
Take
so
us through. You're in prison. You do the paperwork to give her legal guardianship. You get out. What's happening?
I get out, and I reach out to her every day, like, hey, can I see the kids? Can I see the kids? Can I see the kids? I get no response for 2 3 months. I get no response. And then finally I get a response from her, and she tells me, well, your son is going to start baseball. So you can meet me at the park every Wednesday at so time. So I made sure I was there every single Wednesday and sometimes she wouldn't even show up. Like, and I wouldn't even get a notification like, hey, by the way, I'm not going to make it today. So don't go, nothing like that. And she wouldn't notify me of her not showing up. I would show up and wait there and nothing. And she wouldn't even respond. I would be like, hey, are you coming? Nothing. And so then I did that, and then she said, hey, one day she was like, can you watch the baby, because we don't have anybody to watch her. Mom can't watch her, my mom. Can you come over every
You-
day
Can
from
you hold the camera up? We can't see you. Okay,
can you
there we
come
go.
she would have just like, can you come every day, like at 6 a.m. to whatever times her and her husband would get home, like at 7 p.m. And just take care of the baby every day. I was there every day,
So
every morning. I'd be there for almost, it was for a while.
so what you think the issue is? Why do you think she wanted
I
to
don't know.
alienate
She
you?
she says that it's because I gave my kids a cell phone, my teenagers, when they were already attending, when they were in middle school, and she made it a huge deal about it. Like, and I was like, well, why? The kids are walking, because my kids were walking from school sometimes to her house, and I was like, it's not safe with the way the world is. It's not safe out there. Like, just to make sure that they get home safe. And she just had like the biggest, like, she turned after
Let's
COVID.
wait. Let's pause for 1 second because
Mm,
I'm totally confused, and I know when people are viewing this, they
mm.
probably won't understand. So I'm trying to get a basis to kind of figure out the timeline. So, did
Okay.
you guys go through court for her to get guardianship, or was this
Yes.
just a family
No.
agreement?
It was through court. She went through court.
It was legal. Okay.
Mm.
So you get out and you didn't go back to court like to try to get
No.
supervision or like
That's and that's where I messed up. I didn't go to court to get visits. I went. She just let me see them without, because she
okay,
said,
so you get out and you don't do the necessary steps legally to try to get legal custody back. You
yeah,
just try to wing it with your family and see the kids and do it as you
yeah,
please. And that wasn't something she wanted, or did she
yeah.
feel like you weren't ready?
The thing is that, it's not that she is, the fact that I had just got out of jail. My life wasn't all the way, like, I didn't. We were staying with my husband, with my husband's father. It was just a 2-bedroom house, so there was no room for me to be like, hey, let me take the kids. That I didn't have no place for them, so I
Okay.
didn't even have a vehicle at the time. I was
Did you
just
get married while you were incarcerated?
no, 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 no. We just got married in 2021. That's when I
Okay.
got married. We were
Because
in a
I was going off the timeline. You
yeah.
said that you've been with him. So you got with him prior to her getting custody?
Yeah, I was with him prior to him. I was dating him prior to her getting custody of the kids.
Mm.
Yeah,
Okay. So I'm just trying to get a feel for how it may be viewed. Like
yeah,
if you two adults, you should be able to handle your family. You said that you were overwhelmed as a single mom.
yeah. Well,
And
I wasn't with him in a steady relationship. It wasn't like something that was serious. That was established. Like, hey, we're together. We're living together. It wasn't like that. It was, we were just talking, seeing each other, but it wasn't nothing too serious at the time. It didn't. We didn't get like really like together. You could say, until I was released from jail in 2018. Because I was
okay,
like,
okay. So you get released and then you guys
mm,
get serious. But to
yeah,
your sister and everybody else, he's just a new dude, basically.
yeah,
But
basically, yeah,
you had already had established a
yeah,
relationship with him. Okay. So now you're trying to get the kids back on your own terms. And is she feeling like you're stepping on her toes by doing the things, giving the phone and doing things that she's
yeah,
letting you see them? Did she feel like you were overstepping your bounds? Because at this point, she's raising them. So I'm
yeah,
sure her rules are in place,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
Is that what it was about? Because it wouldn't be a conflict if you've been, in jail, you get out, you want to get your life together and get yourself together. You guys
Uh-huh.
should be working together to get your kids back with you.
Yeah, yeah. And
But
so
What was the issue?
that was the whole thing. Like, her husband has always been very like open and told me, like, the goal is to make sure the kids go home. The goal is not for me to keep the kids. That's not my intention. I don't want to keep these kids. I want the kids to go home.
Right.
So it's always been like always expressed that to me, like, we don't want to keep your kids. I want the kids to go home. So I was seeing them. It was consistent. Like, I was allowed to go to her house every day, spend time on the weekend, stay the night, stay with them unsupervised. She'd go on vacation. I'd stay with the kids, sometimes even her children too. So it was all 7 of them and me at their house. And then COVID happened, and I had gotten a job before COVID. I was manager at my job. I was doing great. I bought me a car. Everything was good. And then after COVID happened, it's like she did a whole shift. Like, she shifted, like, her whole demeanor, her whole mindset. We were getting along great before COVID. It was great. It was awesome. I was like, well, like, everybody was like, wow, like, that's good that your sister lets you see your kids. You're very involved. School events, I was there. Everything. And then
So take us to the shift. Because okay, you said you think it happened over a cell phone, but okay, even if that was the case, were there other
Yeah,
incidents where
but
you
I
feel
don't.
like you
Yeah, but
crossed the line?
I don't believe it was the phone. I think I don't know what it is because I've always tried to understand why she changed. She did a whole 360 on me when we were great. Like I said, we were fine. We spent Christmases together, Thanksgiving, all of that.
Does she get any aid or anything, any money from them for
You know,
them?
he tells me she doesn't, but after COVID happened, they bought a house. He bought a brand new truck. She bought a brand her dream car, and I was like, my mom had kind of made like a
I mean,
comment.
that's public record if she does, so you could
Um,
find out those things if it was some type
yeah,
of payee payer type situation going on with the government. And she was like, what would that be? Like, it would be foster care. It wouldn't
Something.
be
well,
guardianship.
I found out that
Well,
there's like
no, guardianship can
but there is a
produce funds as well. So I
yeah,
don't
for
know.
California, there's like there's funding for people that have take care of children that are family members. So it's basically
Okay.
a foster, and it's like a $1,500 check that they get for every child.
Oh
I
wow.
so I
And
don't.
she had five of your kids, you said?
Yeah,
And how long do they get that?
for as long as the child is living in their home.
Well, that could be a strong
Uh,
possibility for a
yeah.
motive, right? So
Or
Yeah,
is it or abuse?
and
take
then
us to no contact. Like, so she stopped everything. You couldn't come
yeah,
around anymore.
no, after the whole phone thing, nope, I couldn't come around them anymore. I couldn't like talk to my kids. My kids would get in trouble if they'd see me. Like I mean, it was ugly after COVID. It was ugly. Like there was things that she would say to me that was like, why are you saying that? I couldn't buy my kids not even a bag of chips without asking her permission. Like
What?
I couldn't do nothing. I bought my soda. My kids had a school dance at the middle school, and his shoes were all beat up. And I was like, I'm not gonna send him to a school dance with his dirty shoes like that. Like they were old. So I went, bought him some shoes, some nice shoes, and send them off. Well, I got told a bunch of stuff because of that. And they took the shoes away from him.
So how did that make you feel, being that these are your kids and someone's treating you like that, especially your
And
sister?
keeping them away because she's not even the other parent. She's just a family member.
Um, really shitty because I would never think that my own sibling could do that to me because she has kids and I would think that she would want me to have a
Understand.
relationship with my children. And I just feel helpless. The only person that I have to have my back is my husband. And if I feel alone, I I feel confused as to why she would do something like that because I never would think that she would ever do that to me ever. Like
What was our relationship like growing up?
it was good. Like I mean, normal teenager sister fights. Like she's older than me, so it was always we were always fighting with each other, but it was nothing too crazy, like to the extent
So
where
how do the family, like your mom, or how do the family feel about this?
my mom, she's just like she feels like she's stuck in the middle because she's like I'm not backing have I don't have anyone's back, like I'm not backing anybody up. She's like I'm in the middle, I'm tugged one way and the other, and it's like she's like and I'm the one who's here at the house, so my mom tells me everything that goes on, everything, every time something would happen with my kids she would tell me. Like I was there once, and this is before everything kicked off and she stopped letting me go over, but I was there and her son and my son fought, and she goes up to her son and just smacks him on the arm and grabs my son by his hair, literally snatches my son up by his hair, and I'm standing there looking at her like, are you serious? So as your mama bear instinct, that's when it kicked in, and I was like, i I lost it. Like I was getting ready to put hands on her, but my daughters came in and they're like, mom, and I was like, I held back and I grabbed my son by his hand and I go, let's go. But for her to grab him that way with such anger, it was like,
Yeah.
why what did
Yeah.
he do that was so bad? They both fought, they both are at fault for fighting, they're kids.
Mm-hmm.
And
So get us to like where are you today? What's going on?
I I'm working towards trying to get an attorney so I can get my girls back because my son is no
So
longer
how many kids are being alienated from you right now?
three kids.
Why is it not all of them? Because the oldest is
because
older and the
be,
baby is what?
because my son, oh, the my daughter is 15, and I talked to her the other day, and she is angry at me, just mad at me, and telling me that I need to go get supervised visits, and it's she sounds just like my sister when I get it. It's like I'm texting my sister, and I'm like,
Yeah,
Yeah, she's projected her feelings onto the
the
kids.
kids.
They
uh huh,
at this point it's almost like being brainwashed, like
yeah, absolutely, and
So,
I was
so let me ask you this. I just want to back it up real quick. So, if she did that, how do you know these kids, your kids, are not being mistreated in the house?
I definitely know that my kids are being mistreated because my son was being mistreated, and my son's no longer in the home anymore. My son is with his father now because she
So, what
refused.
happened with that situation?
She look, he wasn't around for 6 years. I was present those 6 years while he was not even in the picture. Wouldn't call them, wouldn't nothing. And all of a sudden, he files paperwork, and I think it's to spite me, to piss me off. She allowed him and was so willing to work a deal out with him and be like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna let you see the kids, but she won't even sit down and talk to me. But she did it, and I
Yeah,
feel
that's
like
probably
she did
because
it to piss
she
me
didn't
off.
really care too much for that son.
right. He
Yeah, no, she
wasn't
didn't.
he wasn't her favorite.
Yeah,
Nope, she was.
So
She
she probably
treated
couldn't
him.
manipulate him. She couldn't
She
manipulate him
Yes,
or nothing.
absolutely, because my son will not, like, he won't let my sister say nothing about me. Like, he'd be like, nope, that's my mom. I don't care what you say. I love her. That's my mom. That's always going to be my mom.
yeah,
My
so
daughter,
she targeted him.
yes.
But what's crazy is, like you said, well, with her doing all the other things, she's definitely capable of going further. And it's a good thing, I guess, that he's not in a home anymore with her. But then she puts him with his dad, and knowing that situation, how do you feel about that? Because he still has the restraining order, right?
No, that's it's like that. It's already weighed time. Like, it's.
Oh, okay. So it's expired.
So,
But I have.
Is he a good father to your son
I know
and
he
nieces?
loves his kids. I know he loves his kids, but my thing is that when my sister had asked him if that she was gonna not, she couldn't take care of my son anymore, that she just couldn't deal with him because he was so horrible and he was so bad, and she acted like he was a little thug running the streets. My son was not like that. He was playing football. He's not a bad kid. Like, he regular teenager stuff, yes, but not too much to the point where you're like, oh, I'm gonna put him in jail. They would literally always tell him,
So
you're
if he's with him, why can't he see the other kids and get them?
he sees that my 15-year-old, he sees my 15-year-old, but they don't want my daughter to know that my 8-year-old, they don't want to tell her that that's her dad too. Hmm.
what?
Why?
because they're it's gonna hurt her and it's gonna confuse her. She has every right to know who her dad is, though.
So, who does she think her dad is?
My brother-in-law. So do you not understand
Oh
Oh
how
my
my
confusing that is?
God.
God, bro.
Do you not see how, do you see, like, it's confusing for her, like, wait, but she knows who her biological mom is, which is me.
So
But
she
then,
thinks that her aunt and her mother
yeah,
has the same relations with the same man.
Oh
exactly. My
my
mom
God.
said
Are
the
you
same thing.
serious?
Yes, they call my kids are not allowed to call her my aunt. If they even my daughter says, "Oh, my tia," or "tia mama," because they call her tia mom. They call me real mom. She
Like
gets so
auntie
mad.
mom?
Yeah, she gets so mad. She's like, "I'm your mom." She's literally yelled at me in front of all my kids. "You're not their mom. I'm their mom." In the most
Are you
angry.
serious?
Yes, yes.
And she has her own kids?
And she's a teacher for the unified school district here. So,
Oh my God.
mhm,
Listen,
This is worse than what I
this
thought it
yeah, we
was,
yeah.
man.
again, sometimes with each person that every case is different, so we have to dig and we have to figure it out and we have to get there. This
Mhm.
is crazy.
Yes, it is. She has told my son, "Oh, her and her husband have told my son, you're gonna end up being a burnout just like your parents."
Oh
Um,
yeah.
yeah,
She
like
she
me.
didn't cross.
Parental alienation at its best. And
Hmm.
so just to say this, because in the beginning of the interview we asked you who's the deadbeat. And so a lot of people go by textbook dictionary terms and we don't. And so anybody can be a deadbeat. Any person that has the power, that has guardianship, legal custody, any type of, over the children that are not doing what's best for them or what's in their best interest. That's
Hmm.
a deadbeat. Not just a parent or a father that's not paying child support. No, that's not the term we use. And so I'm gonna ask you again. In this case, who's the deadbeat?
I believe she is, because
Definitely.
she's
And
always
if
said,
her husband
If
backing
they're
them,
doing
like what? Like
these
what?
things that you're saying they're doing, that is deadbeat behavior.
I
Yeah.
I have this thing where I drop off I always get my kids a Valentine's Day gift for Valentine's, all five of them. I drop something off at school for them and stuff. Well, my kids, she got so angry because it was already, I had got them something for Valentine's Day, and she was so pissed because I did that. And so she doesn't want me to buy them nothing. Even when I was seeing them, I couldn't get my kids Christmas gifts because she was like, no, I'm not doing presents this year. But she would buy them gifts, and I would look stupid giving my kids some dumb stuff, or not give, like, she would always
Yeah.
try to make me look like I was a piece of shit, like, all the time. I'm the bad guy. She's like, why? And she
That
would,
is not okay.
why
Yeah.
you
That is
That
always have
not
to be the
okay.
she,
superhero and I get to be the
You
villain? Why do I have
you
to be the villain?
you gotta go get your babies.
Yeah,
If your life is together and you stable and you and your spouse is able to take care of your
yeah.
children, you gotta
yeah.
go get your babies.
By
She
any means necessary.
she says I ain't done nothing with my life. I have. I Ever since I got out of jail, I didn't have my driver's license. I got my driver's license. I got my high school diploma. I started college. I graduated college with a 3.27 GPA. I,
Congratulations.
Good for
I'm
you.
going. I
The
got
the
credit.
reality is
I
you
got,
aren't on trial on this platform.
Right.
yeah,
Okay, this is a safe space. Nobody's perfect. We all make mistakes. If you've done crimes and you've done your time, we do not have to cover that. That's
yeah,
irrelevant. The fact remains that you are those children's mom, and
yeah.
you
Facts.
have every right
Facts.
to talk to them, to see them, to bond with them, to do whatever it is that you're supposed to be able to do with
Don't
your own children
don't ma-
without her interfering.
don't matter if you didn't go to college, high
All that is
school,
irrelevant.
none of
Yeah.
that. None of
Yeah.
that
If you
matters.
love them kids and you not bringing them any harm, how dare she keep your
Yeah.
kids away from you
She,
And then tell them harmful things
and
about
saying
you.
that she's
she,
their mom?
she tells my
That
kids
sounds
that
like some crazy stuff to me.
she told my 11-year-old, the one I have, that she was my 11-year-old told me that she was crying once, and she's like, I love you, your mom picked drugs over you. My Even when I went to go pick her up because she didn't have no court papers for her, I picked her up. And she told her, my daughter said she was sitting there screaming at her, telling her, do you want to go with her or not? And my daughter was like, I don't know. And she's like, how do you not know? How do you not know? She lost her mind when she called the sheriff department on me. Sheriff went out to my husband's dad's house, and he was like, I can't take her from you because you're her biological mom, and her aunt doesn't have no papers from court saying she can have her, she has custody of her. She was so mad when the sheriff called her back and told her he couldn't take my daughter from me. She told my mom that I was a piece of shit bitch, that she never wanted to see me again, like the worst, of screaming at the top of her lungs. And my daughter called me and said, Mom, what happened? Tia's going crazy over here, and I'm trying to keep the baby distracted from hearing all this because I don't want her to get scared. So
Man.
You say the baby. You talk about your 11-year-old,
no, I'm talking about my 8-year-old.
8-year-old. So the
Mhm.
11-year-old is still there.
Yeah, my 11-year-old is with me now.
Oh,
She's
okay. So the 11-year-old is with you. The
Yeah.
baby is still there with her,
Mhm. Yeah.
and your other daughter is there with her.
Yeah, my 13, 15, and my 8-year-old are with her.
13, 15,
And
and
eight.
if
All
you
right.
took the 11-year-old, then you need to go take them all one by one if
Yeah.
that's what you have to do.
Yeah, and the
Yeah.
day I picked her up, she had she had my kids bring my daughter out to me, and she was telling text she sent me a text saying, you yeah, so you could see what you're doing to them. And I was like, why are you doing this? Like, it makes no sense why you would put the kids through this. Like, the kid, my daughter, my 8-year-old was sitting there crying, and I'm
This
like,
is wild.
yeah,
Why do you have to get an attorney? You can't. I know California is crazy, right? It's
yeah.
a lot of
Well, the
things with the
mediator
state of Cali, like, but
one the mediator, when my baby's daddy went to mediation, the first thing she said to him when he walked in there said, I'm not here to help you. I'm not here to help you. I know, whatever, my sister. She's a really good person. Hmm. My kids went to mediation to
but
talk to
that would work
the
in your favor because if she
mediator. Hmm.
gave your son to the dad so willingly, she can give up the rest of the kids back to
And
you.
the thing is, look, whenever my sister had told the dad to take him, he told my son no, that he needed to stay there. his partner, his wife, his spouse is the one who's like, no, you need to get those kids. You need to go get them so they can see, because they need to go with their mom. And it was, if it wasn't for her, I believe that he probably would have just not took my son if she wouldn't have
Yeah.
pushed him,
Yeah.
because she was the one who told me. She's like,
But it's
Kudos
still
to her.
lopsided because they don't have them all. Like
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
I just can't believe this. Like,
yeah. So they have court on the 22nd because he submitted. Well, she helped him submit paperwork to terminate the guardianship. And after the 22nd, my son's just like, Mom, I want the 22nd to get here because I just want to. He wants to spend time with his mom. He wants to be. He's my baby boy. I have suffered so much just thinking about him because it kills me, because I knew how she was,
she
how
was
she would
treating
be
him.
with him. And it's like, why project your anger and your feelings and your emotions that you feel towards me? Why do you do that to my kids? Take it out on me, because you won't tell me nothing. And I told my mom, she's messing with the wrong kids, I'm telling you, because I'm gonna fight for these kids. I'm gonna get my kids, and I don't ever want for her to hurt me and for her to be my family and for her to do this. I can't respect her and I can't continue to have a relationship with her because after this, because she has hurt me in ways that I've never in my life could think. I would never in a million years, even if she was a freaking crack addict on the street, would I ever treat her the way she's treated me over the years. And
Yeah.
for me to
That's
entrust her with my children and for my son to tell me everything that's happened throughout the years and everything, how they treated him, is so ugly, and I don't understand. She goes to church every Sunday. Every Sunday, she's faithful churchgoer. If I was like, if God doesn't teach you that you're supposed to treat others that way, especially your family, and
okay. Yeah,
It's a lot.
that's tough. So
And
yeah, it's a
go ahead.
lot.
no, you go.
So let me ask you this then. If you can if it could be a perfect world, what would that look like to you?
To have my kids,
What about
to
your
have my
relationship with
kids, have my
your
babies, be happy with my babies, and try to do the best to help them heal from everything that they've been through, because I can only imagine the stuff that they have to deal with, that they've had
You
to deal with.
you definitely gonna have to do damage control when
Yeah,
you get them back.
because the one,
what about healing the fixing the relationship with your sister? You think that's done?
it's gonna be hard. It's gonna take some time after. I don't know if I will ever get over it or if it will ever like go away.
Have
Because
you guys
anger
tried
is
to
her.
just talk without fighting?
She won't. She won't.
She
She doesn't
won't
want
talk
anything
to
to do
you.
with me. She hates me. She says she's
Yeah.
mom. She hates me.
Okay, and my final question to you is what what would you change if you can do it all over again? What would you do differently?
I would have never made those choices that led me to letting my kids go with my sister. I would have wished I would have been stronger as a single mom. That I would have been stronger, and that I would have had a backbone and not been so weak at the moment. I wish I would have been stronger. I wish I would have gone to God and asked God to help me get through it. But I that's what I would do. I would take everything back. I would, if I was to go back to that day that I decided to make that first wrong decision, I would never have done it if I would have known that I was going to end up where I'm at today.
Okay. Well, we thank you for sharing your story. It's a wild one, man. You took us
Yeah.
on a roller coaster
Yeah,
for real.
I just want to say to you, given your past and your history, people are going to be judgmental.
Yeah.
You know that. I'm sure you've dealt with that up until this point.
Yes.
We thank you for sharing your story and being so transparent and
Mm.
being accountable, right?
Yeah.
Um, for the viewers that are watching, if they feel that you aren't doing enough, because people tend to think that parental alienation does not exist.
Mhm.
What would you say to them in terms of what you are actively doing now to get your kids back?
For people that say that parental alienation doesn't exist, it does. And it's in different forms. It can be from anybody. It can be from somebody that has guardianship of your kids. It can be from a step parent to a step kid. It could be from anything, and any grandparents too as well. Um, and just fight for your kids. Just fight whatever for whatever that love. Let that love that you have for your kids be that strength for you to get through that, because that's the thing I hang on to the most is the fact that I have my 11-year-old now is what me knowing that one day I'm like I'm gonna bring the rest of the kids home. Like it's we're all gonna be a family again. That's my ultimate goal, to be a family.
And what are you doing
to
right
make
now
that
to
happen.
make that happen?
Um, just trying to get look for the right attorney that can take my case. Right now we're moving from the place we were at to a bigger place because after the 22nd, I'm hoping that I'm gonna be able to see my son and be able to he'll be able to spend some time with me finally after so many years of I'll be able to hold him, hug him, do things with him. He wants me to show him how to drive. He's big. He's a 16 years old. He's gonna be 16 years old December 4th, and I'm just like I'm just looking forward to that day where I'm able to sit on the couch and spend one Christmas with my kids
Okay,
and then be able to home.
I got one last question. I know I said the other one was the last one, but this is my last question to you for real. So, how have you been able to cope with this? And um I'm sorry if I gotta throw your drug use in, but I gotta do this because your story can probably help the next person. Being that you used to do drugs or whatever, and you previously been clean. How long have you been clean?
I've been clean since I was released, and I was they took the ankle monitor off me, which was January 2019.
Okay. Congratulations to
Congratulations
that.
on your
So,
sobriety.
so how have you been able to cope with all of this? Without,
Without relapsing.
yeah.
My husband mainly because he's there to just have my back 100% and anything, and NA meetings and going to NA meetings and talking about how I feel counts. A lot of therapy's helped a lot, and just faith that one day I will have my kids back, and not giving up because I think if I relapse, it's gonna set me back all those years, and
Yeah,
then what
Yeah.
I'm not gonna be. It's the, what are those? It's not gonna be worth nothing.
Your
All this
kid,
struggle.
your kids need you.
Yeah,
they do.
yeah,
They do.
They do it. Them babies need you.
Um,
yeah.
Also, have you looked into representing yourself? Because you can start out. I don't know if you guys even have to do like probate court. Like, we
The
are
thing,
not completely familiar with that area with how
the
guardianship works.
the judge
But
in that department is so strict. She doesn't let you get a word in unless you have an attorney.
okay,
Mm.
That's the only way she's gonna listen is if you have an attorney. And
Well,
it sucks.
it sucks.
It's a really messed up situation because I feel like sometimes we don't there because I know that I'm not the only one with the guardianship situation or that's dealing with something like this. I mean, I know a girl that is in my NA group and she's dealing with the same. It's like if she's dealing with my sister too, but it's her children's um aunt from the dad's side.
so it's safe to say because in our world, right, a lot of parental alienation is just happening directly between other parents.
Yeah,
But I guess if you've had a past and you have children and you end up, incarcerated or being away from the kids for so long, or just, just struggling with being stable, people tend to give their kids to other
yeah,
family members, not necessarily the other parent. And this is how these cases, I guess, are growing where those people are tending to keep the kids away from the
yeah,
parent,
Which is
which
crazy.
is
yeah.
parental alienation.
Yeah, because it
So
was never meant to be a permanent situation. It was only a temporary situation. And I feel like she
yeah.
just got to this point where she's like, no, they're mine. And that's what she'll say. They're my kids. They're my kids. And I was like, no, they're not. It doesn't matter what you say. Even if I die, they're still not your kids. They're my kids.
Yeah. Well,
Sometimes I'm
thank you.
like,
We
people,
Thank you.
rooting for you. Keep us posted.
I will.
Reach
Thank you
out.
for
Let
letting
us know
me
how
share.
it's going. We hope someone sees this where they can, potentially help out in Cali. A lot of people are looking for help there. That can potentially spread the word and get you some help. But keep
Yes.
up the good work. Stay focused and go get your babies.
Yeah.
Yes. Thank you guys for letting me
All right.
share.
Oh,
You
thank
have
you.
a great rest of your evening. Thank you so
You
much.
too. Bye bye.
Mhm.
Bye bye.